This is the very first Giant TCR frame, and it may be the best cycling product that I have ever purchased. Before this guy, Mike Burrows, came along, road bikes looked like this. Now you can see the top tube is level with the ground. Now this heavily reduces the amount of seat tube that the frame has. Having a frame with this geometry increases the standover clearance, which is a distance from the top tube to the floor. Makes sense, standing over. Now pretty much all road bikes look like this up until 1997, when this guy, Mike Burrows, had an idea to create a total compact road frame, a TCR frame. Now, if we look at the TCR frame from 1997, we can see that the frame has a sloping top tube. It's higher at the front of the bike and slopes backwards. This means the seat tube is much longer. It also reduces the standover clearance because the top tube is lower, so it's easier to get your leg over. If we look at any modern road bike, including the current Giant TCR, they look like the TCR frame from 1997. So this isn't just a bike. This is a piece of cycling history. And I managed to get my hands on this one for a grand total of 160 Great British pounds. And boy, do I have some awesome plans. Before the TCR, Mike also designed the Giant MCR and the Lotus 108, which isn't shy of being a little bit bold. Fair play to the guy, he was definitely out there. When you first look at this Giant TCR CU92 aluminium frame, it looks like it could have been produced a couple of years ago. Now this one is in pristine condition. The style, the paint job, the general look and feel is that of a modern road bike. To think it was actually made 27 years ago is testament to just how well they produced the bikes in that time. The thing is only 5 years younger than me. What makes it even better is that there is simply nothing to compare it to in that period of time. This was the first of its kind, the first with this compact geometry, a new style and evolution of road bike. So when you look at your road bike now and you think, I can't wait to mount you, it's because of this frame that was designed by Mike Burrows in 1997. And they may have pulled a few strings to get the UCI rules changed so that this bike could be used in races, famously by Team Once. Once? Not sure how to pronounce it.
What exactly did he say?
Fortunately, this Giant TCR came with a few goodies attached. Now, firstly, the headset, which I'm pleased about because my knowledge of vintage headset standards is about as good as my French pronunciation.
What exactly did he say?
However, when we spin the bars, it's far from a pretty picture. We can feel that it basically sort of jumps round in increments. So hopefully the cups can be resurrected. We also have the bottom bracket installed, which I believe is a 68mm square taper bottom bracket from my research. I act like I know what that is. More impressively, when we spin these cranks, they glide deliciously, and I mean deliciously. This can't be the original bottom bracket bearings from 27 years ago. It must have been serviced recently because they spin so freely. It is so satisfying spinning these cranks. I found myself randomly spinning them throughout the day. I know I'm a little bit odd. Now attached to the bottom bracket, we have these timeless Shimano Ultegra 6500 crank arms. That's what I like about these chrome parts. With a good rub down, they come up like new. Now I may have some goodies in the post to match these crank arms as well. Stay tuned. We also have the Shimano 6500 front derailleur attached. Boy, does it need a good clean, but it does have some spring left in it. Honestly, it feels like it left the factory yesterday. Almost more impressively, look at that front derailleur hanger. Chunky, solid, and made to last. It looks like it could survive another 50,000 miles or so. Now the quality of the parts on this frame really did surprise me. It's nice to own a bike that feels like it's basically a Swiss Army knife. I mean, the seat clamp is lightweight, hasn't faded at all over 27 years. The rear dropouts are solid, chunky, ready to clamp the wheels. The rear derailleur hanger, look at the thing. What more can I say? You guys can see from these video clips just how good, solid and clean it still looks after all this time. One thing I was a little worried about was the paintwork, because pictures can always hide the imperfections, and this paint has had 27 years to deteriorate. So let's get up close and personal. Now the front dropouts are looking good around the composite forks. Yes, this bike has composite carbon forks. There are no cracks in the paint around the dropouts on the forks, which is a good sign. The same can be said for the rear dropouts. It's not the cleanest, but it's not the worst that I've seen for sure. Also, sort of no cracks in the paint whatsoever. Where you tighten the wheels, often you can get those sort of tension cracks, but we're looking good here. The head tube looks crisp and vibrant. There is a slight mark where the brake cable probably rubbed. On the top tube, there is not a single mark. Nothing, nada, zilch, which is crazy because it's had 27 years of someone getting their leg over, and not once did someone clip it with a cleat, with their shoe, with a bottle. It's never been hit, it's never been lent on anything. And I'm starting to think that this bike was really someone's pride and joy. Now the down tube is looking good as well. There is a slight mark where the bottle must have been touching the frame. Almost amazingly, there is not a single mark on the inside of the chain rings around the bottom bracket area. So the chain has never dropped inside the smallest chain ring. She is special. Now the rest of the bike is the same picture. The seat tube is good. The chain stays are all good. There's a slight mark on the seat stay, but nothing to write home about. And we haven't even spoken about the forks yet. The clear lacquer on the forks is pristine. No flaking, no marks, no bumps, no bruises. Honestly, I was pretty surprised when I unboxed this frame. I can't quite believe just how good the paintwork is on this frame. 27 years it's been on this earth, and all it has is a few scars. I mean, my body has more scars than this frame. I've done a lot of research on this bike because I'm not too familiar with the components and parts, but there were 5 awesome features that I love that I'm going to try and bring back to life. Number 1, the carbon aero seat post. Now this thing looks like it should be on a shark's back, and quite frankly, it's delightful. And yes, I have purchased one already. The postman will soon be delivering me a whole world of joy. Number 2, the adjustable quill stem. Now to me, this looks like a classic and functional bit of engineering. I have already purchased a Pro Max quill stem that will be going on the bike for sure. It kind of reminds me of a swan's neck. Elegant. I think I'm starting to lose it comparing bike parts to a swan's neck. Anyway, number 3, the polished group set. If it's kept in good condition, then it really can look new and modern. With a good polish, will come up an absolute treat. Now, I've already purchased some Ultegra calipers for just £13. I have my eye on a rear derailleur as well. They will both be going on the bike after I've polished it to within an inch of its life. Rub. Number 4, the subtly exposed carbon forks. I mean, for a bike that is 27 years old, they wouldn't look out of place on a modern road bike at all. Now the carbon layup isn't in your face either. It's more of like a subtle nod. It's kind of like the bike's way of showing a little bit of thigh. Number 5, we have to talk about the wheels. These chunky carbon spokes. Now I've not seen anything like them before, which may not be the best indication, because if they were that good, I'm sure we would have continued in that style. So I have no idea if they're any good, but what a statement piece. And I'll do my best to get my hands on some, but they go for a small fortune because, to be honest, it's kind of like a collectible item now. But I'll see what I can do. So this Giant TCR frame from 1997 is pretty damn awesome. I think it is timeless classic. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. We will be doing a full build, bringing this back to its former glory. So do subscribe because that is inbound. And I shall see you there.